Oh, was it that like actually? Well, I'm trying to remember. Wasn't it their last movies? No, that's Raul Julia. I'm thinking of
No,
Street Fighter 2.
goodness no. But both of them expressed a great deal of regret in having been involved in the making of those movies.
Yeah, I remember. I remember hearing like Bob Hoskins was just like the director and his wife were a nightmare to work with.
Yes, yes, they were. And they were a nightmare to work with, and they had this whole idea of, this gritty version of the story, and Nintendo just kind of let them have full reign on it, and it did not work.
So like the same problem that Sega had with Sonic for a while is letting a bunch of 3 different fucking continuities happen.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'd actually argue it was definitely worse than what happened with Sega. Because whether you liked it or not, these things were actually things that made money and actually were somewhat useful for a time. Like, they had some merit and some value to them. Mario Brothers had none of that. Not one iota. So,
yeah, it did. It showed you what not to do.
No kidding. No, and then nobody learned their lesson either.
Nope.
Street Fighter. Which, I don't know. I didn't like Mario Brothers, even unironically, but I liked Street Fighter ironically. In the sense that it's entertaining, but not for the reasons that they intended it to be.
It's corny.
Very corny.
Hamtastic.
And basically, Raul Julia saved that movie. I don't care what anybody else says. He saved
I don't know. I don't know about
last movie too.
I don't know about saving the movie.
Well, he made it more enjoyable. He also came up with lines that we all still love to this day.
That everybody loves to this day.
Yep.
Enough that even
And
Ono quoted
surprisingly,
it.
we're filming this on a Tuesday.
It is just literally another Tuesday.
Yep. I think the best thing that Ono did was actually get involved in somebody's video and actually deliver that line. Like,
English and all.
yes. And you can tell for all the stuff that's happened to him and for all the stuff that Capcom puts him through, he loves that series. He's really dedicated to it. But I just hope they don't endanger his health anymore. That was not cool.
There's been some hit or miss moments with Street Fighter though, like
Oh yeah. Like, I almost feel like I almost was for a minute. I was wondering for a while if Yoshinori Ono was basically going to have to preface everything he said for the rest of his life with "I'm sorry," because when I went to look at like his Twitter feed after Street Fighter 5 came out, every other line was like "I'm sorry." And here's this thing. It was amazing. Like, every other thing he said, it started with "I'm sorry" or "We're sorry."
it's like as much as everybody rips on Street Fighter 5, like the game itself is perfectly fine.
It's
just
solid, yeah.
It's everything outside of the gameplay itself, not so much.
Right. And it's not even like Street Fighter X Tekken where the game is fun, but it's broken like all get out.
Shit, I don't even feel it was terribly broken.
Well, there were issues. Like, it had problems with time management.
Yeah.
Those awful, those cutscenes for the supers that would take forever, and the timer not stopping or in any way adjusting for it.
Yeah.
And I don't think they really thought the Pandora thing through either. And I never really could see a good use of it.
Yeah,
watching the tournament, it never got used well.
Yeah, it's not really a good like, did they even say it's like it's not supposed to be a comeback mechanic? It's just supposed to be like a fucking whatever mechanic?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make any sense. Why have it in the game?
Because like, you have infinite meter, but it's completely pointless to use a super because it'll run too long.
Right. Exactly.
But hey, like, that's one of those, like, I don't own a business kind of things.
Yeah. And then there's the fact that, well, I get how it happened. The whole concept of, like, all their DLC just being kind of screwed up. I don't really mind the whole fact that it's on a disc, but, like, the fact that they went around asking everybody for more money for the development.
Yeah, well, although, from my understanding was that the DLC thing was Sony's fault.
It wasn't Sony's fault because Capcom actually asked everybody for more money for development. And Microsoft didn't want to do it, and Sony did, and so Sony got first pick on the Vita. They got the characters first. They got 2 characters that weren't in the other game. They weren't in any other version of the game.
I thought that was why they delayed the DLC characters so they could show up in the Vita version first.
Yeah, they showed up in the Vita version first, but they were technically already in the game at that point. Just the balancing stuff to make the characters actually work when it was finished in that version of the game.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was kind of not cool. Wasn't enough to keep me from playing it, but it was not cool.